Fear is the path to the dark side.
Today's Freedom File is about a letter I received from an American soldier in Iraq. He wrote it last week before the government shutdown was narrowly avoided. Of course, until the Congress actually votes on the final budget deal, there is still a risk that the government may shut down. Freedom Watch sources are reporting that if that were to happen, soldiers putting their lives at risk overseas would not be paid. Letters from those soldiers began pouring into us last week, and one of those brave young men's words touched me deeply. Because of his fear of reprisal from his superiors for expressing freedom of speech, we have at his request omitted his name. Here are his words. Dear Judge Napolitano, Sir, I have been a big Freedom Watch fan for a long time, and I could think of no greater person to write to at this time. I am an active duty U.S. Army soldier on my second deployment in Iraq. We are supposed to be in the final few to leave at the end of this year. Today we heard about all our pending government shutdown and received an email containing an executive order from President Obama. It stated that our pay will cease at the end of said government shutdown. My pay stub is already reflecting that I will only be compensated for 1 week of work in a 2-week pay period. My question is this: does this constitute a breach of contract by the government? I volunteered on the condition that this was to be my bread and butter. Sir, I can tell you that yesterday I was awakened by hostile fire, and that we took hostile fire again before bedtime. I am here along with 50,000 other Americans who just got the message that we are non-essential government personnel. Thank you for your time, sir, respectfully. So, a volunteer would become a slave. The government that contracted with him for his services would not pay him, and his superiors would not let him leave or even talk about it. But the military is now rebuilding the bridges it once blew up, and you, America, are paying for it. 100,000 troops in Afghanistan are chasing fewer than 100 bad guys, and you, America, are paying for it. And in Iraq, where the young man is who wrote me this touching letter, the government of Iraq wants us out of there, and you're paying for us to stay. In Yemen, we're shooting at people and pretending that the Yemen government is doing the shooting. In Pakistan, we have murdered in the streets and bribed officials and survivors to leave us be. In Libya, we have boots on the ground and planes in the skies, and this was done with the permission of some Arab dictators in Cairo, some socialists in Belgium, and some pointy heads at the UN, but not the Congress. And you are paying for it. The president is using the troops as if they were his personal military. The Congress is looking the other way. The troops are doing as they were told, as if the childish partisan squabbling of Congress leads to a shutdown after all. You would not be paying for the troops. This is insane. America, we are no longer a republic, but an empire. We fight illegal wars. We occupy countries without their consent. And now we don't even consider our troops to be essential government personnel. If the president doesn't bring them home as he promised, they may just come back here on their own.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.